What's going on, guys? Cal here with Jailbreak Central, and today I'm going to be showing you guys some awesome iPhone 5 tips to saving battery life. Now, a lot of the times Apple on their website it says it gets 6 to 10 hours of battery life. Now, this is definitely not true. I know for me personally, the battery life before I use these tips drained dramatically, very quickly, not at all that much time. And basically, I'm going to be showing you guys some tips to increase the battery life, make the charge last longer, and use it more throughout the day. So first up, I'm talking about battery percentage and basically the battery part of settings in general. So go to Settings, and then go to General, and then go to Usage. Now this is basically the whole battery part. It'll show you what all the storage is used, what's taking up the most battery pretty much. And then down here it'll turn battery percentage on. Now a lot of you guys probably already have this, but if you don't, definitely turn that on. You can see I have 95%. And this just really makes it easier to tell how much battery you have left and to just know when you need to charge it. Overall, just really useful. And then you can see it says usage, so this is time since last full charge. You can see I've been using this, it's been an hour and 4 minutes since I have charged it completely, and it's been in standby for an hour and 44 minutes. I don't have like specs for you guys right now after using these tips, but it does increase it a lot. You can go to cellular usage too to just see all that stuff, but these are all the stats. The main thing is just turn battery percentage on, and you can see, if you want to see how long it's been, or see how much it increases after using these tips, you can go to usage and it'll tell you how much battery has been increased from using these tips. So once you've turned on battery percentage, the next one we're going to be talking about is auto lock. Now auto lock, a lot of people have it on quite long, like 5 minutes, and the problem with that is that let's say you forget to turn your phone off by hitting the top button, you just leave it. What this is going to do is it's going to drain your battery using all the stuff that your phone uses to run for full 5 minutes, which can drain it quite a bit. Now what you want to do is do it to 1 minute, which means if you accidentally forget to turn it off, it will only drain the battery for 1 minute before automatically shutting off. Definitely never choose never unless you're doing some time, I don't know, some kind of activity on your phone that requires you to keep your phone on for that long. Otherwise, you're just going to drain your battery forever and it's going to suck. So make sure you have auto lock on to 1 minute. Now also, make sure you have your brightness set down. So now when you go to brightness and wallpaper, obviously brightness is an obvious one. You want to turn this as far down as comfortably possible. You see this is a little high. I'm doing this for the video, but normally I'd have it like there. That's pretty good. I can still see, you can actually still see in the video, but what you don't want is auto brightness on. Now, a lot of people do this just because it makes sense, auto brightness, they trust Apple. But the auto brightness sensor on the iPhone 5 really isn't that great. I've tried it out, and a lot of the times it'll, in really dark, or not even really dark, but really bright conditions, it'll bring it all the way up to full so you can see it easier. But the problem with that is that it's not always that hard to see it when it's that light out. So you can see it probably here and it looks fine, but it'll turn up all the way anyway just because it's the auto brightness sensor and it thinks that it's turning it up a lot. So what you want to do is turn auto brightness off, so make sure that's off, and then just manually set this to the lowest comfortable level. Usually it's around halfway for me, a little bit less than halfway. And this really, the battery brightness really does have a huge impact on your battery life because it determines how bright your screen is, and that can drain it quite a bit. Now, still in settings, you're going to want Wi-Fi. So Wi-Fi and Bluetooth you want off for sure as long as you're not using them. Obviously, I'm using Wi-Fi right now, so you have that on. Bluetooth definitely choose off because during the day, especially when like you're at work or at school, and you don't need any Bluetooth devices, which you don't really anyway, but let's say you did, during school and stuff, it's constantly looking for a Bluetooth signal to connect to something. So it drains battery. So what you just do is just simply turn that off, and same with Wi-Fi. When you're at work or school, just click on that and then hit off. Basically what that does is it stops the phone from looking for a Wi-Fi or Bluetooth signal constantly, and that can really put a dent in your battery life. Now another thing is kind of related to Wi-Fi is LTE. Now iPhone 5 does come with LTE, but if you're in an area that doesn't have LTE, what you're going to want to do is just turn that off, because a lot of areas don't have LTE yet. Some of them do. If you do, great, you can use it. But just keep in mind that LTE is a huge battery drainer. It wastes an insane amount of battery. That's probably one of the biggest reasons that the iPhone 5 has lower battery life than all the other devices, is just because of the LTE. If you turn that on, definitely it'll load data super fast, lightning fast, but it will also drain your battery lightning fast, so it's kind of a trade-off. If you have access to a plug, definitely use LTE, but if you don't and you're trying to make your battery last long, turn that off. Now another battery waster is Siri. Siri is a huge battery waster as well. And if you're like me and you don't really use Siri ever, I don't use Siri ever, you just turn it off. That's really one of the basic things is when you're trying to save battery life, you just turn as many things that you don't need off. For example, Siri, LTE, also notifications. Notifications is a big one. Location services. If you see here, you can go to location services. This is actually new. A lot of you guys don't know about this. Now, obviously, you want location services on for certain apps. Just turn off location, for any apps that you're not using, such as, PayPal was on for me. I don't really care about that. Shazam, I don't really need. Safari maybe, but I just turn all the stuff that you don't need off. And at the very bottom, there's system services. Now, this is a big one. No one really knows about this. And what you want to do is turn off diagnostics and usage, Genius for apps, location-based iAds, and setting time zone. Now, location-based iAds is for advertisements that Apple puts on your phone or in apps. You obviously don't need location-based for that. And what this does is it'll constantly send out your location to GPS and stuff like that. That will obviously drain your battery, so just turn all those off. The others are up to you, but keep in mind that traffic I kind of like just for maps, compass calibration you like for maps as well as the compass, and cell network search you definitely want on because that'll really screw up your coverage if you don't. Now what you can do is turn the status bar icon on, so you can show the location services icon in the status bar when the services above request your location. So this just definitely turn that on, so it'll appear in the top right hand corner next to the battery percentage whenever some app is requiring or requesting your location. So you can go ahead and hop into location settings just to turn off anything that you forgot, like Fandango or something. Now also a huge battery waster is your email. Surprisingly, your email can waste an insane amount of battery life if you go down here to settings and then mail, contacts, calendars. Basically, there's a couple settings that you're going to want to look at. The first is pushing new data. And what this does is it'll constantly update your new data. I think it's set to every 15 or every 30 minutes default. And what that does is every 15 minutes it'll send out a signal and go request or fetch all of your mail. And that's bad because obviously you don't want it updating that much. If you're like me, what I do is I set this to manually, turn push data off. And then all you have to do to refresh your mail is just go into your mail and pull down to refresh, and it'll go and fetch all the mail. If you have it set to 15 minutes, it'll automatically do it. So there's really no point to that. I just when I want to check my mail, I go and check it. When I don't, I don't. It's not that big a deal. As opposed to fetching it constantly, and then I get the little notification which says I have new mail, but I don't really care about that. I can just go refresh manually, so definitely go there. If you want, though, you can do advanced as well. So you can turn off different, you can make it fetch for some mail and not for others. So let's say this is my main email here. I can have it fetch or do manual. So if manual is selected, the account will only check for updates when the application is in use, which is basically what you want. Obviously, anything you don't use, iCloud as well, a big one, just do manual. You can also select push. That means basically it'll automatically look for it and send it to your mail as opposed to you refreshing it manually. I know this is kind of confusing, so just rewatch the video if you get lost at any point. But for email, basically just go to fetch new data and turn off push and then set it to manual. And that'll solve a lot of your battery problems. Now, the next one is actually multitasking in your apps. And multitasking was a big feature released. Everyone wanted it, and it was really big. But it actually drains a lot of your battery. I know, surprise, surprise. So if you double-click your home button, it'll bring up all your multitasking apps. And these are all running in the background, which means that they're all taking up battery. You can imagine the hundreds of apps that you use. It starts to drain your battery a lot. So to fix this, all you have to do is click and hold on an app, and it'll bring up these little jiggle with a little minus in the corner. To start tapping that minus, and you can close all of these apps that are multitasking in the background, and basically just free up all this memory and space on your device. Now, an interesting thing is you can actually use 2 fingers, 3 fingers, and 4 fingers to close these apps. So instead of just clicking one at a time, I can do 2. You'll see here, I'll just do 2 on either side. There we go, 2 on either side there. You can see those 2 disappeared at once. You can do 3 fingers. You can try 4. It's almost impossible, but 3 or 2 definitely works. It closes them a lot quicker. then just tapping one at a time. So that's a quick little tip for you guys when you're closing these. But that's pretty much it. Just go ahead and close these, and then once you're done with all these tips, just go back into settings and you can check your usage, and it should improve. It improved mine drastically, and I hope it does to yours too. Anyway guys, that's it. That is how to save iPhone 5 battery life. If you have any questions, comments, or you have another tip that I missed, go ahead and leave that in the description. Other than that guys, hope you guys have a great day. As always, see you guys later.